All right, so this is shouldn't say our epilogue for the Mad Keegan's Keep Arc 1. I've got a little bit to kind of read through as far as the aftermath of after you guys finished off Calorel. And then I'll have a few questions and hooks into the next arc. And then we'll probably get a chance for questions, interactions, if you're going to do anything with that. And then we'll move on to the session 0 for the next arc. Okay? All right, first thing, I do have a question. Can't remember at the end of last session, did you guys decide that you were going to basically destroy the remnants of that portal that was on the northern wall? Or were you leaving that intact? Because I know the portal itself shut down, that black mist, it went away, but you still had the actual structure of it.
I think we would have.
Yeah, I think we would have destroyed as much as we could with whatever means we had.
I mean, the actual ring itself was just part of the stone structure on the wall. I mean, you could have, spent a few hours and smashed all the runes and stuff so they weren't usable anymore. So I assumed that was the case, but I want to ask that before I just assume anything.
No, I think we took white out and changed all the runes. So now it just sends you to Disneyland.
That's worse than the Undead Abyss, I think.
Yeah, Disneyland in Faerun is like the 128th layer of hell.
Mm.
Okay, ruled by this giant rat king. Anyway, all right, so you got to destroy the portal. That's cool. So after about 2 weeks of hunting down and destroying the remaining undead in the area, the townfolk of Kron finally felt safe enough to walk about the streets and resume their daily lives. The party went back to the keep, and you complete a thorough search and destroy the remaining rooms. You guys are pretty confident there were no more remnants of Calorel's minions within after that. However, during the search of Mad Keegan's Keep, you guys came upon the final resting place of actual Sir Keegan, the namesake for this keep. As you entered that room, his spirit rose from the sarcophagus and basically thanked you guys for ridding the keep of Orcus's minions. He felt their presence there for a while, but he was basically, what's the word I'm looking for? He was not trapped. He was secluded, barred from leaving this tomb. That's the only place within here he could stay. And he says, with this evil driven from the keep, he was finally ready to move on and into the realm of his ancestors. But before he went, he asked one of the parties to pledge their life to the protection of others from the machinations of Orcus and his minions. He says, for whoever does this in exchange, he will provide this volunteer with his sword, which he names Acrius. It's a very fine-looking great sword. So anybody here wants to volunteer for this, basically pledging your life to hunting down and destroying any kind of happenings that Orcus may do.
By getting this offered to him, would it swap Growlner's bad sword for the good one?
We haven't got to that yet. So Growlner has not removed that curse yet. So Growlner still...
Being a good deed, wouldn't that instantly, like the star of Bethlehem, shine on him and grant him that wish?
He will get an opportunity to remove the curse. As of right now, he does not. Now, if he removes the curse, he can definitely take his great sword. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Gralnar, but I think technically you started off as a one-headed weapon fighter with a shield, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So you just wanted to switch out this great sword for something else, I'm assuming, eventually.
I think so, because I'm a little light on AC.
Okay.
But he would be the logical choice for someone who'd want to kill all of the undead because they've been fucking with them.
Yeah, I agree.
I was thinking the same thing, and if I upgrade my armor, I wouldn't be offended taking on a great sword. Yes. So I will pledge.
Okay. So you have a great sword you can't get rid of, and you're going to pledge yourself to basically, what Sir Keegan is asking you to do, and he will grant you an extra +1 great sword that you now can carry around your back but not use yet.
One in each hand. But I can't wield.
That type of 2-weapon fighting I don't think has been created yet for simple humans or dwarves. But you can add a +1 great sword to your character sheet. Another one.
It's not cursed this time.
Did I say that?
You did not say that. That is true.
Okay. 1 second. Do you guys want to hear anything about his duty that he had while he was here?
Ooh, duty.
You said duty.
The ghost duty. Yep.
Let's not forget, Brian. I don't want a +1 sword. That just as a follower of the Raven Queen, I'm sworn basically to deal with Orcus and his assholiness.
Okay. And he'll by all means, anybody wants to make this pledge along with Gralnar, there could be something in the works.
Yeah, Varda would probably take that pledge too. She doesn't want the great sword, but she would drop to the knee and make the pledge.
Okay, so Varda, Bryn, and Gralnar, all three of you guys, right?
I think Splug would too, just because he's got a crush on Bryn.
Okay. Who are we missing?
Downey's not one to be outside of the group, so if you're all pledging, I'm gonna pledge too.
Pure pressure. That's all it is. Pure pressure.
Yeah, I don't know what I've never had a great sword. I've had a pretty good sword and once an okay sword, but nothing great. Sure.
All right. I wasn't expecting everybody to bend the knee, so I'll have to come up with something between now and next session, but I will. Each one of you guys will get something a little extra. I just got to come up with it.
Somebody may need to help me out.
Okay, so if you guys don't want to hear the lore behind Sir Keegan, I won't bore you with that. Gave you the sword. Okay. Back in town, Lord Percival. Thank you guys for your duty. He offers you guys your duty. Each of your duties.
Wow, that's a lot of duty.
It is. He offers you guys a choice between what's left in his coffers, 1,000 gold pieces, or ownership to one of the wings of the reconstructed keep once it's complete, of course. You guys can even, for your deeds, can choose the new name for the keep if you would like. So what would you guys like as a group? 1,000 gold pieces, or you want ownership of one of these wings?
All right.
That's a But the wing's not going to generate income, right? Well, I guess it depends on what we do with it.
We can make it a brothel.
There you go.
Grow up. Brewery.
Johnny likes the way this conversation's going.
I figured he would.
A brothel brewery?
Brothel brewery.
Yeah.
Tips and tits. Yeah.
Liquor in the front, poker in the rear.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, tone it down just a little bit.
Liquor's another word for alcohol.
Okay.
Poker's a card game. I don't know where you guys went with it.
All right, just need a decision. You guys need to vote on it. I don't know. It's up to you. Which one do you want? Which do you want to take here?
How many of us are there?
I'm sorry.
How many of us are there? So that's 200 GP.
5 of you were at the end of this session.
How many GP did we come out of the keep with from treasure? I was trying to look at the loot. I guess we haven't really totaled it up yet, have we?
Did that? Because
It's
some of you guys.
in the loot bag for 350 total.
Okay, so before that, all those other sessions were already divided.
Yeah.
Okay, so gotcha. Varda is sort of neutral. Either way is fine with her.
Yeah.
Just like
I'm the same.
Go ahead.
She
Okay,
just doesn't think she'll be back this way again, but she's happy to have joint, a share of ownership if that's what the party wants to do.
Okay, so just full disclosure, I was trying to give you guys an opportunity if you wanted to have like a home base out of this, where you guys can reconvene after an arc or two and then head back out from there. This thing will get built up over the coming weeks and months back to its former glory. The actual keep
cool.
itself will be.
I think that's a good idea. I'm for keeping the keep.
What do you think it'll pull in a
Call
month?
it Splug's Hollow.
It's not about making money, Gralnar. It's about just having you guys have a home base. Now, if you guys can finagle a way to make money out of it,
Hey,
so be it.
Gralnar will build up the equity, and we'll flip it on one of those home renovation shows that they have that are big back then.
Castle flippers.
Castle
flippers. Yeah.
Keep clippers.
Keep flippers. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody opposed to just keeping the wing of the keep? I don't hear any. Going once, going twice. Sold. You guys got a wing of the keep. Let's see. A large celebratory feast is held in the party's honor. During the festivities, Lord Percival approaches the group and shares with you. Technically, I don't know if you guys remember this or not. While you were in the keep, you guys came across a letter. Here, let me read it to you again. You found this, I think, in the room with the little water monster in there. The letter said, "Greetings, Calorel. I've recently learned of your activity in the area and have an offer for you. During your time in this region, if you should capture any humanoids, we are eager to buy them. We have Duergar allies in the Underspire in need of slave stock. If you're interested, send an envoy back to me. My messengers will show the way. It is signed Chief Crand of the Blood Reavers." Does that ring a bell with any of you guys? I'll put it in chat here again.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, I remember the letter. But do we know who these folks are based on our backgrounds or anything?
That's what Percival is approaching you about.
Okay.
He tells you what, between him and, what was the guy's name? Valthrin, the old wise dude that lives in a tower here in Kront. Did a little research on the name Blood Reavers. And he shared the Blood Reavers are basically a gang of goblinoid slavers. And Percival is worried that this slaver gang may be expanding out and operating near Kront. They are operating right now somewhere out of Underspire Labyrinth. He asked if you guys could investigate the validity of this letter and possibly ascertain if there really is a threat to Kront and people of the Great Vale, and if appropriate, do whatever is in the power to limit the threat. Now, meta-wise, this is the thread leading into Arc 2, the reason for you guys going to Underspire Labyrinth.
Varda will have to indicate she has to return to her masters and can't partake of this particular mission, but she's interested in following up and trying to discover what the ultimate purpose of the Calorel was and why he was trying to raise undead, etc.
Okay. Now we'll have some more for you specifically, Varda, coming up here, but I just want to kind of lay the groundwork for this thread, this hook, to get you guys to the next arc over here.
Cool. I was just bowing out since I'm not in Arc 2.
Yep. Hold on. I still got more for you. That's fine.
Okay.
Percival also kind of shares a little more about Underspire Labyrinth. It's basically a former Minotaur stronghold from hundreds of years ago, but more recently has been, I guess, renovated is maybe the right word, by a small clutch of wizards. They basically cleared out the upper level of this, and it's become like a trade post between Underdark races and I guess topsiders, whatever you want to call them. And they rule with a iron fist and iron minotaurs. They basically have these construct large minotaurs under their power that kind of keep the justice in this area, to allow people to trade back and forth. So it's not uncommon to see Duergar, goblins, orcs, drow, all within this area, along with humans and elves and all of them doing trade for those that feel, I guess, obligated to travel to this place. And Lord Percival suggests you guys seek out the Duergar in this area. That he believes the dark dwarves are the ones that could probably point you towards the Blood Reavers. Not that they're like in cahoots with them, just that Duergar are also been known to keep slaves. So it's like their competition. So they are probably going to be more than eager to have these Blood Reavers have another enemy.
But the letter said I thought the letter said that they were allies. The Blood Reavers are allies with the Duergar, and they needed more slaves for the Duergar labs. Did I mishear that?
Did I totally butcher that? Did I say that in my text there?
Oh, I don't know. Where's the letter? I'll read it
I put it
again.
in chat. I put it in chat.
we have Duergar allies in need of slave stock.
Ah, that is true. Then why the hell does it say this then? He says
Oh,
you can get the dark dwarves to point you toward the Blood Reavers and their evil chief.
Well, maybe the Duergar themselves have factions that compete against each other.
That's possible. Yep. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. If not, let's go on to the next part here. Crap, don't tell me I closed it. No, there it is. All right, so that happens. Also, Baron Windallerson, he's basically the owner of that general store there in town. He approaches you guys with another task, another hook for this area. This may be something I tie into one of the new characters. Rand, are you here now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So this may be a good hook or a tie-in for a new character. So I'm going to hold off on this. Let you guys all use that, investigate the Blood Reavers hook, and probably call it good from there. Is Kev here? Kev is not here, is he? Okay, I'm going to skip over him since he's not here. Bryn, news of your conquest has reached the Circle of Leth, and in turn, your mother and father. During the last night of festivities, the Netanyark Irunu arrives and requests a private meeting with you. She thanks you for a great service to the realm, but that is not the reason for her visit with you. Although she doesn't completely understand it, she senses your connection with the Shadowfell and the Raven Queen. She does think it was blind faith that brought you here to dispatch Orcus' minions. Perhaps it's your lineage. Perhaps it's the Raven Queen herself that is calling you, but you must trust your instinct. Aruna warns you that Orcus is not someone to trifle with, but she suspects he has something more sinister at play here. She asks you to continue to look for signs that Colorado may have had help with setting up his operations here. Asks you to investigate those connections and report back to her. And for this, she gives you one of 2 sending stones that is connected back to her. So you can add sending stones back to your character sheet, and it'll either point directly to her or one of her high council members. So unless there's something else you want to ask of the Netanyark, I'll move on to the next person.
What am I supposed to report back?
She wants you to investigate any other connections that Calorel had.
No, I got that part. Was I supposed to report back to her on something?
Yeah, if you find any of those connections between Calorel, Orcus, and or other factions that were working with him, to let her know.
Alrighty.
Got it? Okay. Okay, Gralnar. During the festivities, your cousin, Dermug, remember him? Little dwarf that runs a blacksmith there in town?
Yeah.
He's a cousin. He's got a dwarf cousin? What?
Yeah.
How about that?
He's going to be allowing me to buy a set of plate off of him or something.
So I do have one, I guess, question I should have asked before you started your festivities. So what are you doing with this greatsword that you can't get rid of? How are you going about town with this? Are you trying to hide it? Are you trying to ask for help? What are you doing with this?
Oh, yeah. The temple would be like one of the first places, after everybody realizes what studs and, heroes we are. I would definitely make it known that the temple is, we need some help I need some help from the temple. I assume it's going to be the temple.
So this would be one of the first things you did when you got back in town? Is that what I'm understanding? Okay. Yeah. I still need to know how you're going about hiding the fact that you have this greatsword in your hand that you can't let go.
Remember, it's the town's like old leader that you stole it from his tomb, right? So
yeah. I guess I would just have it upside down, keep it in my one hand, but, instead of holding it up, I would hold it under my arm and kind of walk with it. It wouldn't be a great way to hide it, but, we're traveling, sell swords anyway, so.
I mean, it has a sheath that goes across your back. So if you want to keep it sheathed, you have like one hand held on the handle while it's on your back. Walk around looking kind of weird. Is that what
Yeah.
you're doing?
That would work because there's not a whole lot. I mean, what else can I do? I can't let go of it.
You
Right.
you actually have to
And-
keep your hand on it at all times.
Yeah.
Oh, that's harsh.
Starting to hurt
Can he
too.
put it in the sheath and then keep his hand on the hilt?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying that he's probably doing then, because he's talking about putting it under his arm or whatever. You can put it in the sheath. You just can't let the hand go of the hilt.
Okay. Yeah.
So that-
When you're making sweet loving?
Yeah.
That opportunity has not arisen since he got the cursed sword, Rand, but maybe one day.
All right. So in that case, let me change what happens here. So you're walking around town with one hand on the hilt in the back of it. And I'll still say it's Dermot, your cousin. He's the first one that walks up to you and says, "What the hell is wrong with you, man? Why you walk around like that?"
And I'll tell him I'm cursed.
Shit, just come out and say it.
Well,
He's like, "No shit. What's going on? What happened? Why is
I'll
it
be
cursed?
like,
What'd you do?"
we took refuge in a mausoleum, and I can't remember who actually stole the sword.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I think it was a dead Goliath who is no longer with us.
Yeah, one of my traveling companions stole a sword and decided to give it to me and to hold on my back, and I woke up and I can't let go of it, and now I'm stuck like this until I get some help.
He kind of looks at you for a second and goes, What tomb or mausoleum did you take this from?"
I don't remember his name. The
But you're
former
basically gonna be
king?
honest with him, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. He's like, "Holy shit, man!" Says, "What's wrong with you? You don't do that." He goes, "Come here." He pulls you into his shop. Says, "This is stupid. You can't go walk around town like this, man." Says,
Yeah.
"Tell you what, you stay here. I'm gonna go grab Mother Eshrel. She owes me a favor. I'm gonna see if she can help you out of this situation. You okay with that?"
Yes, absolutely.
So okay, just stay here. Don't go out because you look stupid walking around with your hand on your hilt of your sword all the time. So just stay here. So he goes. He gets Mother. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, ain't nobody in town gonna look at me twice.
So he goes to Mother Eshrel. She is like the head priest at the Temple of Three here in Kront, and he brings her back to the blacksmith shop. They both come walking in, and he's like, I kind of filled her in on what's going on here, and she's I think reluctantly going to help out. You can see she kind of gives you like a stern look, has a stern look on her face. She goes, "I'm supposed to help grave robbers now, huh? What's your excuse, mister?"
Not me, madam.
Yeah, why'd you do it, buddy?
We had a member of our party, and I can't believe I fell into companionship with him. But
Say whatever
Took
you
the
want about
sword.
him, Don. He's dead now.
I know
That's right. You can totally
I
lay it
know.
all on it. You can say he stole it and gave it to you, and you didn't know it was
Ouch.
cursed.
What do you
Ouch,
mean?
guys.
Say it. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. He decided we took refuge in the mausoleum from all the ghosts. If you remember, I was close to death. And he took the sword and wrapped it up, and I didn't want to, didn't see any harm in taking the sword and just holding on to it. I wanted to continue using my own weapons, but
Something smells really funny about this story.
yeah, I woke up and I haven't been right since, and I can't let go of it. And I certainly I pledged myself to I can't remember now. In
remember your own
recompense,
No, the
Yeah.
the dead spirit
What?
guy, right?
the dead spirit, yeah.
Okay, all right.
In-
Keegan.
in-
Keegan.
yeah. I've pledged myself to Sir Keegan's cause in recompense, but I still can't get rid of the sword.
She kind of looks you up and down. Is the entire party in the blacksmith with you, or are you by yourself, Grolnar? Or I guess ask the other party that. Is everybody with Grolnar? You guys okay with that? You guys won't be separated.
Oh,
I think we're all there, and Splug's just sitting there going, "He's full of shit."
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Splug doesn't know any better, but Splug wasn't with us then.
So before I move on, there's another question I forgot to ask. What did you guys do with Asolar's body that was outside the keep and dead? And if there was anything left of him, it was mostly like bones.
Aslar was being eaten, so they just
Yeah,
moved on.
we left him there because he was being eaten.
Yeah, I think he and Pharaoh were now zombie tummies somewhere getting digested or whatever zombies do.
I hope I'm giving them the trots. That's my goal.
So here's when she asked the next question, maybe it'll dawn on you why I asked that. So she goes, "Did you steal anything else from the mausoleum? Or was it just this sword?"
What did Aslar steal? I don't remember.
There was a crown and there was rings.
He put the rings on his hand and he put the crown on his head.
No, they were in the bag. You guys still have that shit. You guys weren't together. You guys all act innocent.
Varda is like, I don't know what they're talking about. This happened way before I joined the party.
Except Asalar, you had that bag.
No.
Yep. You put it in your own bag for later.
Well, let's see. Is it in the loot bag?
Should be.
Because if I remember right,
but the loot bag isn't a specific space. It's just a log of what we pick up.
Yeah,
this is meta knowledge with a specific space. None of the gold would be in it anymore. None of the stuff would be in it. It's just loot sources and owners. I didn't title the bag.
Sounds like semantics.
Okay, let me just recap for you guys. Asalar did have those because I don't know if Gary, you remember, you had that same curse before you died.
I do remember. That's why he had them.
Yeah. So either that stuff is lost, or we can retcon you guys went through his remains and collected those up by somebody.
Yeah, we would have had to do it on our way out because we couldn't reach him on our way in.
Well, wouldn't we have just said, dude, you got cursed crap? Keep it while your belly's getting eaten? I mean, we knew it was cursed. Why would we go and retrieve it? We just leave that guy to his own devices. Oh, you're dead. Thanks. Now I don't have to worry about that stuff anymore.
Because we were friends.
Now, just so we're clear, I'm good either way. You guys collect it. You left it there with the rotting corpse of Asalar.
I honestly think you guys would have left it. Because you wouldn't have gone back because there was a bunch of guys munching on us.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
That
so
does raise
sorry.
I was just going to say that does raise a good question. What happened to all the undead after we closed the portals? Because there were still quite a few of them left up at the top, right?
Well, go ahead.
I thought Brian, you said that the townsfolk spent the next couple of weeks, or
no, I think we did.
Couple of weeks.
I think we spent the next couple of weeks hunting them down, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So since you guys didn't pick it up, don't have it on your persons, are you going to admit that you stole more than just a sword to her?
I would think that you guys would use it as, we think he might have taken other stuff, but we don't know.
Exactly.
Okay.
The guy was a prick.
And if he took, I think you should tell him. I mean, Varda doesn't know any of this, so she's looking at all of you like, oh my God, a bunch of grave robbing bastards. But she would probably say, is the stuff still back at the keep?
The stuff meaning like,
well, the crown and the rings or whatever, right? Because if that was on Aslar, it should still be back at the keep somewhere, right?
You're talking meta here. You're not saying this out loud, are you?
Yeah, meta-wise. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, Varda knows nothing about any of this because she joined the party after, all this was happening. So.
All right, so let me cut to the chase. She's asking this because the only way to truly get rid of this curse on Grolnar is to send all that stuff back to the mausoleum. She said she can attempt to remove the curse from this sword, but will not remove the curse from Grolnar until all the items are returned back to the mausoleum.
Well, sounds like the first thing I'm going to do.
Well, consider we own
Uh,
part of the keep. We should be able to go do this.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it should be. We already cleaned up everything. We should be able to just go over and do it.
And
Just
search
grab the
for it.
bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would it show up with a detect magic? We can just wander around with detect magic on until we find it.
Okay, well, I'll make sure you guys heard I made it in inflection. She can attempt to remove the curse from your sword, but she doesn't think it's going to remove without the other stuff. So she can still attempt to remove the curse and of this sword from you. May or may not work, or you can go back and get all the stuff, and there's a better chance that she can remove the curse.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's what you guys are going to do, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll wave my hand. You guys take 2 or 3 more days, and you find this stuff scattered around the grounds of the keep, or maybe it got stuck to some undead's foot or whatever.
I think I have to dig the rings out of an undead intestine. I'm pretty sure that's where I found them.
Zombie poop.
Nah, they just spit that out. It's like shells on a little shrimp, right? Got to
Peanut
peel the
shell.
skin off. Yeah, that's it. All right, so here we go. So she tells you she can attempt to remove this curse. She said once she does that, she has a certain amount of time to get it back to the mausoleum, and she said she will do it. And she kind of gives you kind of like a snooty look, like she doesn't trust you, grave robber. So here's what we do. Gralnar, roll me a percentile die.
Percentile. Like a D10?
No, a D100.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I never told you guys if high is good or low is good.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so it takes probably about an hour of her calling on her god and touching you and touching the sword, the rings, the crown, everything. And at the end of the hour, you can feel like this weight coming off of your shoulders, Grolmar, and you feel as if that curse is gone. And you won't know until you get in a room full of undead whether it's truly gone or not. But she tells you that she's fairly confident, and you can feel a difference in your spirit and your light-footedness, so to speak. Don't feel like they have that burden on your back anymore. Okay, so you can remove that cursed sword from your inventory. And she tells you if she ever catches word of you grave robbing again, she will hunt you down and castrate you.
Just won't hear about it.
And no one will hear about it. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so no longer have a curse. Next up, let's talk about Varda. Okay, Varda, you said earlier you thought your brother was eaten up, but I thought you and I talked about the fact that Varda would have done something with his body.
Oh,
before
yeah,
she
you're
went down
right.
and followed everybody.
Yeah, you're right. I think that she basically drug his body somewhere and hid it away and would have recovered it after the battle with Calorel.
You wouldn't have been able to take the body very far for trying to catch up with the rest of the group. So
yeah,
I was going to thought maybe a little bit into the woods away from all the undead. She probably could have made it that far, and maybe done a rough little cover up with limbs and stuff, but it wouldn't have been anything real thorough.
Hopefully the raccoons wouldn't get into him before she got back. Yep.
Okay. All right. So since you agree with that, when you leave the keep and search for your brother's body, his body is missing. When I say missing, like there's no sign of his body. There's no like pieces of his clothes, no boots, no blood or guts where you left the body, where you thought you left the body. Just completely gone.
And no sign that the body got up and walked away of his own accord. You
can see no tracks, no drag marks, nothing like that. It just disappeared. So meta-wise, this is going to be a hook for when you come back in probably arc 3, but I get to leave that hanging over you until the next arc.
Okay.
There's more. You also will be. I don't know if the 9 golden swords and what you're here for was secret or not. You okay with me talking about that?
I mean, it's fine. I didn't explicitly tell the party that when I met them, but I think.
Well, this could
because
be
of
meta knowledge.
Yeah, well, because of the bonds of what we've been through, I probably would have revealed it at some point.
Okay. All right. So you're contacted by your contact here in Kront of the Nine Golden Swords. They obviously expect a full report on what happened and what you just went through. I'm assuming you're not going to hold anything back. Is that correct? Anything you want to keep secret of what you have discovered here?
From the 9 golden swords, I'm not going to mention Pharaoh, but I'll mention, everything else I'll tell them.
Okay. All right, I'm fine
I
with
don't want them to know about my half brother.
Okay. They're going to ask you to help set up a clandestine operation at the site of Mad Keegan's Keep. They want to investigate this site for more clues that tie to Orcus's involvement, but they plan on fronting themselves as emissaries from the Temple of Enlightenment in Sant. Temple of Enlightenment is a cleric monk temple that worships Agma, the god of knowledge. I mean, that is a real place. They're not making up the Temple of Enlightenment. You know that since you're kind of from that area.
Okay.
It's a real place and it has real ties to the 9 golden swords. And they tell you as you're doing this investigation, try to keep up the ruse, and they're going to give you a ring of mind shielding to help with this deception.
Okay. And I would imagine that means I'll stay here in Kront, right, to take care of this during
at
Arc
least
2.
At least for a little bit of time. I'm not saying you have to stay here during the whole arc, but that's kind of your tie to this area for right now.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not setting in stone that you have to stay here. Okay.
Alrighty.
All right. And meta knowledge, everybody else, the 9 golden swords. I think some of you guys may know this. They're basically like the rival thieves guild of the Shadow Masters.
Can you sing it when you say it, please?
Can I sing?
9 golden swords.
Thanks, Wayne.
Yeah.
That's how you get in. That's the initiation phase. Right.
And the hazing.
Any questions or anything about that little tie-in / holdover, Barda?
No, I think I got it.
Okay. All right. Next up is Splug. Okay. Once the party tells the story of how they freed Splug and how he helped them defeat Calorel, the town folk, or at least most of them, welcome Splug to the festivities. However, as the ale flows, some drunkard began calling for the militia to throw out the goblin. Before Splug even grabbed his crossbow, a dark red-skinned tiefling stepped in front of him and whispered to Splug, "Let me handle this, sugar, my adorable little green goblin." The tiefling then pointed at the drunkard and with a booming voice said, "Does anybody else here agree that this drunken goblin should be thrown out of the lake onto Lake Mulsanter?" And to almost everyone's surprise,
I agree.
The drunkard was now an ugly and still drunk goblin. This is not Splug. It's the guy that was calling for Splug to get thrown out. He is now a goblin.
I was mistaken. I was wondering if you wanted Splug to get thrown out. Sorry.
I was almost anticipating that, Rob. So good job. The drunkard, not realizing his transformation, replied, "Yeah, let's go for a swim, shall we?" And with that, the crowd rushed the drunkard and hauled him away and tossed him into Lake Mulsanter. The tiefling then turned back to Splug. "There you go, little fella. That's not the last time a loudmouth gets what he deserves. Some humans just don't understand pure beauty, am I right?" And she kind of winks at you. So, for those who have been in the town before, and those of you that were in the last campaign, you guys know this tiefling by the name of Thifney. For those that don't remember, Thifney was a pure white, beautiful tiefling that was like the / bard at the local Woody Drunkard bar. You guys remember the last session? But this has now been 300 years later. She's no longer white. She's like almost like red and burnt black all red, but she's still the same tiefling, just totally different color. She was originally called, I think, Thifney the Pure. She's now called Thifney the Burnt.
50 Cent, the rapper.
Thifney, Thifne.
That's what I said.
50 cents. Yeah. She commends Splug for foregoing the natural tendencies of a goblin and for helping rid the town of these evil cultists. But she beseeches him to not strike first in these situations. It's much better to be prepared for an opportunity to respond so as not to draw the attention and ire of others in the room. She then removes her matching leather wristbands and slips them onto Splug's wrists.
that bitch trying to tell you how to rogue?
Apparently.
So perhaps these will help you with those opportunities. Thanks for your company, Mr. Splug. And she removes Splug's drink from his hands and saunters away as she sips his drink.
Wow. I think I'm in love.
And Splug, you can add bracers of opportunity to your character sheet that she just gave you.
Just so long as you don't confuse that red-skinned female tiefling with Varda, and then we're all
You
good.
just wait till the next long rest, buddy.
So I put it in row 20 so you can see that. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
Last but definitely not least, we've got Donnie. You still with us, Donnie? Rich?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm taking a nap.
Okay. During the second night of festivities, a large human paladin with snow white hair and a beard came into town asking for Donnie. This man eventually finds Donnie and embraces him in a bear hug that would surely break a normal person's back. Donnie, I'm so glad you are back.
Buddy, I don't have your money anymore.
I'm so very proud of you. Papa will be proud as well. Please tell me you've not been subjugating the women here to natural charisma and charm.
I can't help it. They just fall for me.
Ah, my brother, my long lost brother. We are from the same father and mother, though, right?
Yeah. How can I ever forget our childhood together? It was joyful.
A childhood? We're only 16 years old, right?
Arnold, you always crack me up, man. You always cracking me up.
I'm gonna crack you up. Anyway, Lathander, he's calling me south, so I must go soon. But before I go, I brought you a present from Mommy. Yes, Mommy gave me the present. Ah, she still loves you, I think. Well, maybe not sometimes. Anyway, actually, it's lots of presents from Mommy. Here. And Arnold hands you a bag of holding.
Ooh.
With stitched letters.
Dig my hand in there and see if there's anything inside.
I'm getting there. It's a bag of holding with stitched letters on it that read, Danny's toys, stay out. Inside the bag of holding, you know all these things, and you remember they were in there. Donnie's favorite stuffed satyr named Phil. Any of you guys seen the animated movie Hercules?
Yeah.
That's who Danny DeVito played, the satire Phil. So he's got a stuffed satire in there named Phil. He's got his favorite book, The Lorax, also played by Danny DeVito. He's got his favorite yellow toy wagon, call back to Taxi.
Yep.
He's got a blanket with little penguins embroidered all over it, calling back to DeVito playing the penguin. And last but not least, he has a ceramic piggy bank with 4 copper pieces in it. That has nothing to do with Danny, but he's got a piggy bank with 4 copper pieces in it. So add a bag of holding to your character sheet, Danny.
Thank you.
It's the twins reference, Brian.
The ceramic piggy bank?
I don't know.
No, twins resident was his brother. He's Arnold. He's Danny. That's twin. Did you miss that at the beginning?
I did. I definitely did.
Yeah, Donnie has been with us the whole time as the twin of twins.
Arnold's brother from Twins.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, look at his token and roll 20.
Nice.
Okay, so that's it for my epilogue for the end of this. Any questions about how we ended, or questions or anything I didn't answer or resolve on how this one went?
No,
I can think of.
yeah, pretty good wrap up.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's it for the arc of Mad Keegan's Keep. Wayne, you're welcome to stick around. We'll talk about the next arc as well. I don't think, has Kev shown up? Nope, he's not here. So he's not in the next arc, so we'll be okay without him for this. So from this point, we'll go ahead and transition over to Underspire Labyrinth in row 20, and we'll pick up there with the actual session 0 for that one. Okay?
We got to log out of this one?
Yep, log out this one, log back into Underspire Labyrinth.
Have you moved our characters over, Brian?
I'm going to. So we're going to talk about during session 0, and if you guys are bringing characters over, I'll port them over.